Hello and welcome to the new episode in my quest to rebuild a big box PC collection from scratch. You can find the first 3 episodes in my channel to see how this collection is progressing. I will update every month with a new video with the best pickups of the previous calendar month. The focus will be on the best 3 to 5 items, and I will also have the unboxing of each along with a total collection update at the end of each video. You can find a lot of content about adventure games in my channel, like the full history videos about Space Quest, King's Quest, Gabriel Knight, Leisure Suit Larry, Loom, Grim Fandango, and many more. You can also find a 2-hour documentary on the history of the genre with the rise and fall of the adventure games. If you like the content of my channel, please consider supporting it by subscribing and turning on the notifications for it. You can also consider supporting me by becoming a member of my YouTube channel. There is one membership tier and you will have a lot of benefits like exclusive updates on upcoming videos, you get to watch each new video earlier, you get to decide the topic of upcoming videos, and also member exclusive giveaways that will follow. Now let's continue with the 4th episode in this series with the pickups of July of 2022. We have some great finds this month, as you will see, from a variety of adventure games, subgenres and studios. We begin with Black Dahlia, an interactive movie point-and-click adventure game that was released in 1998 by Take-Two Interactive for the Microsoft Windows, and here you can see the actual requirements of it. This game is typical of the popular full-motion video adventures of the late 90s that haven't aged that well because of their dependence on video formats that seem outdated today. This game stars Dennis Hopper in it, and it prominently advertised that even on the cover. There were a lot of full-motion video games back then, as it was a time when the computer and gaming industry wanted to establish itself as a medium that could easily take on the more traditional media like TV and cinema with regards to production and narrative quality. To do so, studios utilized movie-like budgets for the games and casted well-known Hollywood actors. Let's open this up, that box that is, to check what is inside. The first thing you will notice is this nice plastic tray that is inside the game's packaging, which is nice for collectors as it helps with the stability and sturdiness of the box. Not a lot of stuff included, just a manual and the game's CD-ROMs. As already mentioned, there are 8 CD-ROMs that contain Black Dahlia, and all of them seem in very good condition in this case. Now moving on to the manual, this seems quite detailed. It begins with the installation guide for the game and then a quick introduction to Black Dahlia. Then it explains the game's user interface. This game plays like a typical point-and-click adventure game played from a first-person perspective. It uses a context-sensitive cursor that changes shape when passing over areas of interest, and in this page this cursor is explained. Next, you get some menu options and how you can store clues and information on the in-game notebook that the protagonist carries with him. To further assist the player with the gameplay and user interface, the manual also provides a quick step-by-step walkthrough of the first couple of puzzles. Here you can find how to begin your investigation and get used to the game's environment and gameplay. Next, you have the technical information and troubleshooting guides, along with where you can call to get assistance, the typical helplines. Finally, we have the cast of the game. Here is what I discussed in the beginning about production budgets. This is a video game, but still you see that it has a numerous cast with Dennis Hopper being the star of it. The credits follow up next and they do not lack in headcount. Now let's put all those back and move to our next game. Next up, we have a spin-off game of the once massively popular Wizardry series. Wizardry was a well-known RPG series of games of the 80s and 90s, and Nemesis that we have here is a hybrid adventure RPG game that was created for that world and released in 1996. It was developed by Certec, the company behind the Wizardry franchise, in an effort to capitalize on the IP's massive success. The copy we have here is still sealed, so we will open it up and unbox it for the first time after more than 25 years since its original release. Lots of manuals and paperwork here, but let's start with the game's jewel case that contains the 5 CD-ROMs that include the full Wizardry Nemesis game. This is a fat case that includes all the CD-ROMs with no extra manuals. Now let's move to the actual manual of the game, which seems like a CD-ROM case-sized one, but I guess it was too big to include in the jewel case. Some really nice hand-drawn artwork here, typical of the Wizardry franchise and fantasy RPG genre in general. Next we have a small intro to the world of the game and the city of Gallican, where most of the game takes place. You get to see how the game's screen is split, with the action part in the middle and all the rest of the game's user interface around it. There is an explanation of the available icon commands that you can use to interact with the environment, objects, enemies, and NPCs. Some quick information on the options menu follow next, with the save and load options and the game settings and preferences. Then you have the inventory and items information and available options, along with some more artwork, and then the manual dives into the character window and the combat system of the game. There is also a dedicated section of how magic works in the game and how you can cast spells, and finally some technical information and the credits of the game. There is also a dedicated section of how magic works in the game and how you can cast spells, and finally some technical information and the credits of the game. Small manual in size, but with a lot of information in it. Moving on, we have some registration cards typical of the era and the company's 1996 catalog that showcases Certec's products of the time. Here you can find the latest Jagged Alliance and popular strategy IP of the company, Wizardry Gold and Shadows over Riva. Certec was very active since its founding in 1979 up until it closed down in the late 90s. On the back of the catalog you get an ad for the game at hand, Wizardry Nemesis. Next up is the Nemesis Tour Guide, a detailed manual for the game's main city Gallican and the rest of the world. It contains maps and locations of interest along with some dungeon guides. The map of the whole game can also be found, where you get to see all the major locations of Nemesis. Very nice and thorough document to assist players in the journey. We also get an ad and ordering form for the game's merchandise. Some nice baseball caps and t-shirts here. Finally, we have this nice little scroll, so let's have a look at it. It explains how magic works in the game, as it seems that it is linked to the basic 4 elements air, fire, water and earth. You can find the respective spells for each of the basic 4 elements. That was a really nice package with a lot of information about the game. Let's put those back and move on to our third game for this episode. Our third game for this month is that of an iconic franchise. This is Under a Killing Moon, the third game in the Tex Murphy series. I have just completed the full retrospective of this series, so be sure to check that out in my channel to learn all about this beloved character. The Tex Murphy games evolved to be interactive movie adventure games with an emphasis on full motion video. The character is well known among adventure fans and the franchise is still active today, as members of the original team have left Access Software after its acquisition by Microsoft and formed Big Finish Games that gave us Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure of 2014. Under a Killing Moon and its sequel, The Pandora Directive, are among the best games of the series, and this one in particular proved to be a massive success, selling over 400,000 copies. In today's video we have one of those copies that we can unbox and have a look at. The cast of the game featured a lot of well-known actors. Even James Earl Jones was cast as the narrator for this game. Inside the package we can find the 4 CD-ROMs that include the game. Under a Killing Moon was released in 1994 and 4 CD-ROMs were a lot for the game back then, but it was the only way to contain the game, which combined live action footage with pre-rendered 3D backgrounds. The technology of the game and its visuals were revolutionary for the time and amazed gamers worldwide. Next we have the game's instruction manual. It contains an introduction to Under a Killing Moon with a few information about the Tex Murphy character. This was the first game in the series to bring a professional writer, Aaron Connors, on board to expand on the game's universe and provide a deeper background to its protagonist, Tex Murphy. In the manual, you will also find detailed technical instructions. This was a demanding game back in 1994 and it features real-time 3D graphics that were exceptionally detailed at the time, utilizing enhanced 640 by 480 resolution. There is a big number of optimization and customization options that you need to play with in order to get the best experience out of it, depending on your own system setup, of course. Then you get information on how to play the game. Under a Killing Moon also marked a shift in the gameplay from the traditional third-person point-and-click to a free-roaming first-person perspective. The icon-based interface includes a number of options like look, get, open and talk, and you can use to interact with the game's environments, objects and characters. Dialogues were not represented in dialogue tree form, but presented options to the player regarding text Murphy's response, adding to the mystery of what he will say when selecting each option. More information for the game are included in a very detailed way. This is a manual that it is truly worth your time, as it covers every aspect of the game, both technical and gameplay wise. The frequently asked questions is also very useful, as it answers a lot of the common issues players faced with Under a Killing Moon. Finally, we have a registration card. This is for US Gold, the European distributor of Access Software games, as this version we have here is the UK one. Excellent package for an excellent and iconic game. Now let's move on to our fourth game. The final item for this episode is Torin's Passage from 1995. This is a Sierra Online adventure game, not one of the most famous of the company's franchises, but still an excellent and fun game with nice visuals. I have uploaded the relevant retrospective in my channel, so make sure to watch that also. This game was supposed to start its own franchise with multiple sequels, but unfortunately fell victim, as was the case with many games of that time, to the issues that the company faced with many changes in management that led to Sierra closing down its studio. To return to the item at hand, you get a familiar name here on the top. Torin's Passage was developed by Al Law, the man behind many successful Sierra games like the Leisure Suit Larry games and the Freddy Farkas one. On the back, you can find some screenshots of the game's visuals that resemble a lot those of King's Quest VII with regards to style and quality. I love these cartoon-style games of the mid-90s. What is also interesting is that the game advertises its difficult puzzles, which were one of the key criticism issues that led to it not being a commercial success. I guess in retrospect they would have thought twice before putting that text on their box cover. Now let's unbox it to see what is inside. The first thing we get is the single CD-ROM that contains the game. The manual is in CD-ROM case size and prominently features a photo of the development team. I love those photos, I have said that before, as they give you a sort of sneak peek of how our beloved games were made back then. You don't get to see that in recent games, they are more faceless, even though we live in the world of YouTube where they could upload 1,000 videos during development. The manual starts with installation guides for the popular operating systems for the time: DOS, Windows 3.1, Windows 95 and Macintosh. Then you have the main options of the game explained. The game's user interface is explained also, showing the console that is available below the game's action screen that contains the inventory, score, hint system and more. There are also some in-game menu options at the top of the screen, as was the case with almost all Sierra games that utilized the same engine, Sierra's Creative Interpreter version 2, that accommodated for Super VGA graphics. The credits are also included at the last pages of the manual, along with the relevant technical support helplines. Next we have the typical Sierra registration form that we had seen in a lot of Sierra games, with a giveaway of $1,000 worth of Sierra software. This business card size document promotes most probably a store in Lake Forest. I guess that game was bought from there before ending up thousands of miles away in Greece at the hands of a collector. The last document we have is an ad for the Imagination Network. It was developed by Sierra Online and first available to the public in 1991. The Imagination Network was a unique online gaming network that gave subscribers from all over the United States of America a place where they could play games, make friends and have fun. It had a wide variety of games including RPGs, World War I airplane simulations, live trivia and card and board games. The Imagination Network also featured an electronic post office, many bulletin boards and chat rooms. Unfortunately, it followed the fate of its mother company and went downhill along with Sierra. Another great package of a very fun game. That was all for our fourth episode in our Big Box PC Collection series. In this video we had Black Dahlia and Under a Killing Moon that I got from some local collectors, and Wizardry Nemesis and Torin's Passage that I bought from eBay. The collection, after 4 months, includes 15 games. We will have the next episode soon. Thank you all for watching.